To quote the gentleman that I overheard leaving the theater, thank you, Wes Anderson, for tickling my brain. Welcome to the channel, investors. Can I interest you in the next 5 to 10 minutes of listening to me ramble on about Wes Anderson's midlife crisis? It's a joke, but it's also not. You'll see. Hey y'all, it's been a minute since I've done one of these, but I'm here today to talk about The Phoenician Scheme, Wes Anderson's 12th full-length feature film. Benicio del Toro plays an industrialist and visionary Zaza Corda. After the latest assassination attempt on his life, Corda decides it's time to mend his relationship with his eldest child and only daughter, Liesel, played by Mia Tripleton, and to fund and put into motion his most ambitious project yet, to overhaul the infrastructure of Phoenicia with slave labor. I know that synopsis is deceptively wordy, and yet this is also one of Wes Anderson's more accessible films in recent memory. And here's the thing, this is Wes Anderson's 12th full-length feature film, including The Phoenician Scheme. I have only seen 5 of them, and I know each person that you talk to is going to have a different opinion on Wes Anderson and his movies. Some can't stand him, some fell out of love with him, some are growing onto him, and for me, he's remained consistent. I haven't disliked a film from him yet. And while The Phoenician Scheme is no different, I definitely would stick it a bit lower within the power ranking. And maybe that's because I'm coming off the movie fresh and I'm still kind of dazed about it. I'm very thrown about how simple it is and yet complex it feels. And I'll begin by talking about the crafts, because in every Wes Anderson movie, the crafts are your standout. It's not a Wes Anderson film without these meticulous crafts. The tracking dolly shots, the cinematography. For example, there is one shot at the end of the film that moves slightly down to reveal a card table, and it's those little nuances that show you Wes Anderson is just that precise. The opening credits are exclusively shown from the top down, like we are looking at characters interact in a dollhouse. Wes is known for these great sets, and for multiple sets. The Phoenician Scheme is great in that regard. The mansion is spacious and detailed, the plane is tight and claustrophobic. There's a mine tunnel that doubles as a basketball court, and then we get to see Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Benicio del Toro, and Riz Ahmed play a game. Where else are you going to find that?
Classic backhand layup.
I get it if you don't care for Wes Anderson's style or if it feels very style over substance. But carving out your own filmmaking stamp to the point that AI tries to take a swing at it, there's something to be said about him as a visionary. And the fact that his style has been polished 12 films in the making means he's still gonna do it. The other thing about Wes Anderson's films are that the casts are always solid. You have many recurring cast members normally in Wes Anderson's circle, and then you have a couple new people in the mix. I know the main role of Zaza Corda was written with Benicio del Toro in mind, and he rocks it. I truly believe the character arc, which I think is saying something because of Wes Anderson's movies having a more deadpan delivery. I think Del Toro has that authoritative presence about him, but also the softness that you expect out of a father figure, and his delivery on the humor is fantastic. Dare I say this is the funniest Wes Anderson film that I've seen so far? Please Take a Hand Grenade never got old.
Help yourself to a hand grenade.
You're very kind.
Mia Tripleton was great as Liesel. It's again great delivery on the deadpan humor, and there's this overall coldness to the ridiculousness around her that I found great. But arguably the performance that you walk away thinking about the most is Michael Cera. And it must be said, how this man has not been in a Wes Anderson movie as of this point in his career is beyond me. Their styles really just gel, like bacon and eggs, fish and chips, chicken and waffles. You name it, Michael Cera ate it up. He comes across wonderfully dorky, talking about insects, being drunk off of 3 small drinks, yell lightweight. And there's a turn in this movie with his character that I think is fantastic. And the rest of the cast plays so well. Benedict Cumberbatch is almost unrecognizable. Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston are comedic perfection. Richard Ayoade is perfect. Jeffrey Wright, Riz Ahmed, Matthew Amalric. I think it's a fairly strong supporting cast. Scarlett Johansson is the only one that I was like, okay, this accent's a little bit off. And there's another handful of actors that I don't really want to give away because I think it's really fun when you see them on screen. But now we can go back to that style over substance thing. And let me just say, I get it.
Your opinion has been duly noted.
I'd say the last 15 minutes or so, I felt myself veer off. The jokes slowed down. It goes into a more Looney Tunes style route with some of the physical comedy. I totally understand how some of Wes's visuals can feel distracting, like some bits of people completely in profile, the rushed monologues. However, I think there's a lot to be said in this movie, and dismissing it as just Wes being Wes is a bit of a disservice. And yet, you're also not entirely wrong. Wes Anderson is in the middle of a midlife crisis. Now, I haven't watched The French Dispatch yet, but to my understanding, it started in that movie. This reflection of our interaction with art and legacy. If we look at his previous film, Asteroid City, the storytelling of a play performing the story of Asteroid City addresses grief and working through that grief and continuing being an artist and storyteller. It also addresses legacy, as the performers are telling another person's story when the playwright is gone. In the Phoenician scheme, Zaza Korda is trying to overhaul the infrastructure in the region, and it's all meticulous by design. It's going to be his everlasting project. This also comes after several near-death experiences and assassination attempts. Our main character is looking ahead at the legacy after he is gone. He even brings in his estranged daughter Liesel into the fold, and Liesel's role as a sister in the convent is very interesting, almost playing like a mediator between life and death, heaven and earth. And we see these flashes throughout the film of Zaza being tried in like a purgatory judgment thing right before you are accepted into heaven's gates. I think seeing someone so concerned about their legacy but learning throughout the movie to just live in the moment and not be concerned about how you are remembered. It's something that everyone needs to hear. And as an artist myself, it's something I think about, like, what does my portfolio look like when I'm later in my career? How does my work endure? But overall, it just should matter what my friends, family, and supporters take away from me. And as long as in life I am doing something I am passionate about, I feel Wes Anderson is coming to terms with this as well. Like I said, he's going to continue being Wes Anderson and creating movies in this style. No matter how his fan base fluctuates in the love and hate of his work, no matter if AI is trying to bite from his bit. Wes is a singular vision, and the Phoenician Scheme is just one example of that. Anyway, I feel like that's my takeaway here. Will the Phoenician Scheme convert any Wes Anderson skeptics? I'm not sure. Like I said, this is his most straightforward narrative in quite some time. Maybe it's an easier on ramp to get into the rest of his work if you haven't experienced his stuff yet. I can tell you that I had fun, and I look forward to catching up on the rest of Wes Anderson's filmography. May his talents chug on like a basketball mine train. I give the Phoenician Scheme 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you for watching. My name is Kyle. I'm still learning to fall in love with the medium of cinema. If you care to join me on this journey, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and follow me on Letterboxd. Comment below, what is your favorite Wes Anderson movie? What are your thoughts about the Phoenician Scheme? What should I review next? Don't forget to like this video, and until next time, that's a wrap.